Welcome to the Our Team podcast, powered by eXp Realty. Are you an agent looking to level up? Are you someone looking to buy or sell real estate? Fantastic. This is the show for you.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here on the Our Team podcast.
The Our Team.
I am Brian Auer, and I have a really cool team member with me, Luke.
Aw.
Luke, thank you for joining us here today.
I'm happy to be here, Brian. I love doing the podcast.
Yeah. I know you do.
It's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. We just finished a meeting. Everyone's kind of pretty much cleared out. So for the first time on a Thursday, it's actually quiet in here.
It's very well. We always have that afterglow.
Of course.
It's always great after a meeting because like people are here and they're chatting and we're talking about the business.
Exactly.
We talk about challenges and everything during the meeting, but it's good to really talk kind of out of the meeting. I like that because it feels a little bit more casual.
Big time.
And yeah, it's a good time.
One of the best things about our team is the culture.
Definitely.
And that is the best time to kind of show the culture, be a part of the culture.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's important for me. That's why on our team, you can really do what you want to do, right? Where I don't crack a whip on anybody at any time over anything except for Thursday meetings. I make a big deal about it. You're on a team, so you got to be at the meeting. And
I mean, it's 2.5 hours, really.
Yeah.
9 to 11:30.
It's 9:30 to 11.
Okay, 9:30 to 11. You can take that time out of your week. You really, if you're not here, if you never show up at the office, you can take those 2 hours.
But you know what is even more important? You should want to really bad because you should want to come to the meeting.
Yeah.
Not. I mean, we're kind of squirreling here, but I want to get this out,
Okay.
and I think those that are listening to this podcast need to hear me say this.
Okay.
If you're on a team, stop going to the meetings to get something out of the meetings. Start going to the meetings to see how you can participate and help others on the team.
That's a good way to look at it.
Right? So I have been a church-going guy my entire life, and I've heard Bible studies for the last 20 plus years. I'm at a place in my life now where when I go to church on Sunday, it's not, I really want to get something out of church today. It's, Lord, please sit me next to somebody that I can be a blessing to.
That's a great way to look at it.
Because I don't really need another Bible study. I'm already a believer.
Yeah.
and I do because I always get some great nuggets, you know.
Of course.
But it's the same thing if you're a part of a team and you're like on a team and you're excited about your team and whatever. Wake up that morning of the team meeting and just be like, man, I'm going to sit right next to my coworkers and we're going to engage and I want to contribute. I want to have something to say.
Yep.
Come prepared to share.
That's
so,
right.
Anyway,
come prepared to share. It's a good rhyme.
Yeah, I'm going to start a band and that's going to be the first song.
I love it.
Prepare to share, bro. Okay, today we're going to talk about something that I think might be scary to some agents, but it's not to me. And that is what is probably coming down and is going to become the new norm. And that is due to some lawsuits and things like that you can Google if you want to.
Yeah, we've been talking about that for a couple of weeks.
Yes. The buyer-broker agreements are probably going to become mandatory.
Okay.
So
do you have an estimated time when you see that happening? Like
probably within 6 months.
6 months.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So we'll probably think about, was that be April? No, that'd be, like February or early spring.
Yeah.
Okay.
By the middle of next year, maybe 9 months. Who knows?
Okay.
If you listen to guys like the ones that are talking about it a lot, like Andy Nazaroff, Tom Ferry, guys like that, they're talking a lot about what's coming down the pike because there's been some class action lawsuits and things like that. So, we think since California is very reactionary to things like this, I think it's probably going to become, mandatory.
Okay.
So it's not a bad thing to work with buyers and require them to sign a broker agreement.
Right.
It's especially not bad if you're aware of it and you're ahead of it.
Yeah.
Right.
If you can kind of explain it to them, because the unknown is scary. But if you really explain what it is, it's not that scary.
But this will shake some things up.
Definitely will shake things up.
Because why would a buyer want to even work with you and sign anything with you? Why?
That's true.
Right? Why are you needed? What value do you bring me? And you want me to sign something?
Yeah.
That's like a commitment to work with you? Whoa,
Mm-hmm.
whoa. I mean, you're asking me for marriage and we haven't even kissed on our first date yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's important as agents that we really take a step back and say, okay, why are we a better choice than the other 6 or 7 or 12 agents that the buyer's been talking to, right? How do you answer that question? How do you? I'm asking you. I'm putting you. Why should I work with you? I mean, you want me to sign this and commit to working with you? And okay, you're telling me that it's required, but I'm not required to pick you.
Right.
So it's a little bit scary. So, Luke, why should I work with you?
I get that question. And the biggest thing that I lean into is that I have a team. And the questions that you might have, I can get answered. If I can't answer them, I know someone who can get you the answer.
Yeah. Well, that's
so
cool.
it's I like to I'm forgetting exactly what it said, but it was a 10-minute offense can prevent like a 2-hour defense. Or it's like you
Absolutely.
answer questions up front and not get grilled for 2 hours for questions. That's what I like to lean into is that I have the support.
Yeah.
That I'm not just the solo agent.
Yeah,
I'm not just a
exactly.
guy working. It just has his license. I have people who know people who know people who know people.
Right.
And so I can get ahead of all of that. That's
Yeah.
the biggest thing I like to push, as well as I just like to say, I like to say I'm a friendly guy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I have a good personality, but I know we talked about that. We're going to get into that of.
Yeah.
We had talked about this earlier, but the biggest thing I like to push is just I have a team, I have people, I have support.
Yep.
I'm not alone.
So, and I think that's really important, especially so that's you coming in from a place of education and service and all of these things that I have access to. And
Right.
That's good.
Yeah.
What I want to dive into since we're talking about this is I want to provide some framework.
Okay.
On really how you as an agent can help develop your unique selling proposition.
Got it. Okay.
Your X factor, where people are just like, yes, I'm going to work with you.
All right.
Because it's going to take that for them to say, it's going to take all of that for them to say, sure, I'll sign that. I'm going to work with you anyway. Sure,
Yeah.
I'll sign.
Right.
So, I think a lot of agents are like, well, geez, how am I going to do this? How am I going to get to a place where, how do I get them there? Well, here's the framework.
Okay.
There's going to be 4 things we're going to talk about.
4 things.
We're going to go through them as fast as possible.
Okay. Let's hit it.
Just because, I don't want to bore anybody.
Yeah. Let's hit it.
When you're putting something together and you're trying to think about that, answering that question, why should someone work with you? The very first thing you should do is lead with the coolest thing about yourself. Okay?
Stack the cool.
Stack the cool.
I
And
love
you have
that.
to do that because
You do.
because and by the way, this has nothing to do with real estate.
Okay.
All right. I would lead with something that has to do with let's say you're a musician and you toured in a band for 10 years, right?
Who did that? Who do we know that did that?
I don't know, whatever. you literally will get to a place in conversation where part of your icebreaker is you incorporating that, you were a touring rock star or
Yeah.
something like that, right?
That's really cool.
So people are like, oh, that's amazing. And then it's an icebreaker, but it's also something that they're getting to know about you. You're stacking the cool thing about you, even if it has nothing to do with real estate.
Yeah.
Maybe you worked at Disney for 10 years.
Yeah.
And
That's cool.
Maybe you were a Rams cheerleader, right? I'm using those examples because we have real life examples of that on our team.
We do.
Something that's really unique and really cool about you that will cause the buyer to just be like, oh, this guy's got culture and he's just something cool about, like I like that. What I lead with is as far as just, it sounds kind of braggadocious, right? You say you got to lead with something that's cool about you. But you know what, dang it, we're in sales, and you got to come up with something. Many people know that I ran a page, and still do, called Along the Road to Temecula Valley.
Yeah.
And on that page, there's a lot of, the whole point of the page is I like to showcase the coolest things about where we live.
Mm-hmm.
So I let people know, I will ask them, hey, have you seen Along the Road to Temecula Valley? That most people say no. They really do. Even though it's got tens of thousands of people that go there.
Yeah.
Most people say no. And I say, oh, okay, well, what it is, as a busy realtor, I'm out and about like this constantly. And while I'm out and about, I like to visit restaurants and kind of showcase the coolest things about where we live. And so I do a lot of videos, and then maybe I'll take and show them a couple things like that. And just all of a sudden it's like, oh, this guy's kind of like a little bit of a celebrity, local celebrity, right?
Yeah.
It's putting something out there that's cool.
Right.
And it's memorable. And it's different.
It's definitely
right?
memorable. And
yeah.
you've built this page.
Yep.
You've built this thing, this journey, like you said, along the road to
And then
Temecula
I get a chance to tell them I'm a videographer, I'm a vlogger, I do these kind of things because it really helps my clients. And so you're leading with something cool, and it's so cool and so unique. It means that the other agents can't say, yeah, me too. That's the whole point of leading with something that's really cool. Because you want it to be so different. Because if you try to be that unique agent and you say things like, I know the area,
Yeah,
I always answer my phone.
Yeah, me too.
I have the tools.
Yeah, me too.
But I've helped countless buyers.
Yeah, me too.
But I'm your trusted advisor.
Yeah, I can do that too. Me too. I'll be your trusted advisor.
What about I'll be loyal to you?
Yeah, me too.
I put clients first.
Yeah, me too.
See what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
You have to. It's okay if you are all those things, and please be all those things.
Be all those things.
But it's not enough.
No, I don't have a page that I've created over years of real estate along the road to Temecula, and I can't say, oh, look at what I've
That's
made.
right.
Yeah, it's unique and that's cool.
Mm-hmm. So that's the whole point of that part of it. You want it to be very unique and very cool. Stack the cool.
Stack the cool.
The second thing you want to do when you're kind of putting together why someone should work with you is you want to definitely be able to present that law of contrast. And that's where you're going to say, most agents do this, but I do this.
Okay.
Right. And for an example, most agents will, set you up on an auto email,
right,
and just hope that something hits that you want to see.
Yeah.
But what I do, in addition to that, is I will meet with my team and we will talk about off-market inventory.
Right. Yeah.
Or we will circle prospect that neighborhood and actually go after people who are interested in saying, find off-market properties.
Yeah. Right.
You show what the average agent does or what most agents, and then you say, but this is what I do. Right?
Yeah.
And that brings us really to the third thing you have to do, and that is social proof.
Huge.
Right after you say, most agents do this, but I do this, and you're going to give several examples, immediately follow that with the social proof.
Yeah, prove it.
That's right. So, and if you can't back it up right away, then you just sound like a BSer. You sound like that guy that's saying, most agents do this, but I'm better than them because I do this, but you're not backing it up.
Yep.
Right? So you have to back it up with social proof and even some humor if you can, right?
Yeah.
So
humor's great.
Social proof, the best way is to just be prepared when you're having these conversations with your buyer. And this is assuming he's a brand new buyer. You're just getting started with this person. Be prepared to whip out your phone and show your social proof.
Yeah.
Right? So if you say, a lot of agents say that they close a lot of homes, in each month, but they can't back it up. My team closes a tremendous amount of real estate each and every week, right?
Yeah.
And you whip out your phone, and that's their social proof. Look at all these just listed, just closed, just all these, right? You're showing social proof.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're saying most agents do this, but I do this, and you back it up with a case study. Like you'd say
Huge.
something like, in a recent survey, we found that most buyers that work with us are in escrow on their dream home in 2 to 4 weeks, when the average in our area is 3 to 6 months. So you literally say, most agents do this, but we do this. Can I share a quick case story with you?
Yeah.
Boom, and you hit them with that, right? Or maybe you tell a story.
Stories are fantastic.
Stories are the best.
They are the best.
Because there's something really genuine about like using names and everything, right?
Yeah.
Most agents do this, but we're able to do this. Can I tell you a quick story about Mike and Sally? You're going to say yes.
Of course. Yeah. What
let me
happened?
hear.
What happened?
Mike and Sally were looking for a home for 5 months. They were just using the listing agent.
Okay.
I met them at an open house 2 weeks ago. We just opened escrow.
Wow.
Isn't that incredible?
That's great.
You're actually telling a story.
Yeah.
So when you're putting this whole thing together about why someone should work with you, you're stacking something cool about you, so you're memorable. You're using the law of contrast. You're immediately backing it up with social proof, and then you have to do the fourth thing.
And the fourth thing is
Validate it with agreement. So basically, what you're saying is, which agent would you rather work with?
right.
So this is the formula, right? It's literally leading with something cool just one time, because you don't have to come up with new things about how
Right.
cool you are.
Yeah.
Just leading with something that's unique that other agents can't say, yeah, me too. So stack it with the cool thing first. Then most agents do this, but I do this. Let me show you proof. And then ask, which agent would you rather work with?
Well, obviously, you're going to want to go with the one who has the social proof, the case study, and
Right.
what was number 3?
Story.
Yeah.
But that's the cadence of it. So it sounds like this. Without getting into the details, I'm just going to say this is literally, if I was talking to you, I'd say, I would try to, in a smooth way as I can, introduce some way of leading you into a discussion or something about why I'm different and why I'm cool. I'm stacking the cool thing about me.
Right.
So you're just going to engage like, wow, that's really cool that you did that, right?
Yeah, that's cool, Brian.
Right? So that's the kind of agent I am.
Okay.
And then I'm going to get into the law of contrast. So, most agents do this, but I'm able to do this, this, and this. Here, let me tell you this story. Which agent would you rather work with? And also, a lot of agents in our valley, they do this and kind of fail on this, but I'm able to do this, this, and this. Here, let me show you this case study right here. And then you talk about the case. Which agent would you rather work with? See how the formula works?
Yeah.
Then you do it like a third thing. Another thing about a lot of the agents that buyers work with is this, this, and that. But because of my team, I'm able to do this, that, and this. Here, let me show you what we just did over here.
Yeah.
Which agent would you rather work with? Right?
And
See how
yeah.
you're building this, you're separating yourself, and you're doing those 4 things, that formula. And if you do that and you get them to agree with you multiple times, you've shown that you're somebody totally different. You're cool.
Oh, yeah.
You stacked the cool or stacked the sexy thing about whatever it is about you.
Stack the sexy.
Yep, stack the sexy is another way of wording it. And you're giving them the contrast. You're absolutely giving them proof, and you're doing it 3 or 4 times in a row, 5 times in a row, right? Whatever feels right in that circumstance. And it makes it so easy to just roll into. So, based on all these things I've been sharing with you, can you see the value in working with an agent like me? What do you think they're going to say?
Well, obviously, they're going to agree.
They're going to say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Well, can we get started working together? I would really love to be the one to help you and your family find their way home.
That's a great closing sentence, too.
It's a great closer.
That's the final just.
Yep. You're going to get an obvious yes. And after you get that yes, that's when you just shine. Because once they say yes, then you can say things like, well, here's what happens next.
Yeah.
Right?
There we go.
Right.
Exactly
Here's what happens
to say.
next. Go ahead and sign here. Or actually, you don't have to get right into that buyer broker thing right then and there. I mean, you can start the process, earn even more of their trust, and then, of course, when it's time to sign that, it's no-brainer. But this is where it is your time to start asking all the good questions. And there's a ton of really good questions that people can ask, like, do you want a pool? Is HOA important to you? Do you need a 2-car garage? Or do you need RV parking? How many rooms do you need? Do you have kids? Are you pre-qualified? What price range are you comfortable with? How did you arrive at that price range? Over and over again, just all these questions. If you have the time and it's right then and there, it's a great place to just say, okay, you want to work with me? I want to help you find your way home. Here's what we're going to, here, I have a couple of questions.
Yeah.
Do you have time for a couple questions? Bam, hit them with it. They're going to leave your presence feeling like, holy crap, we just really connected with and ideally this happens at, say, an open house or some event where you're meeting people for the first time. Or you're meeting them for the first time after connecting with them from an online lead or something. Right. So, once you've gotten that yes and you've started asking them the right questions, then it's also really easy to say, I need to make sure that I have a good email and a good text-friendly number from all the decision makers in this situation.
That's important.
Right?
That's very, very important.
Because then that's sealing the deal.
That really is.
Yeah.
When you're like, okay, let's get all the decision makers in if it needs to be a group chat, there you go. You have everyone, but you have everyone's phone number. So there's no lull in, let me call him and then I'll call you back.
Right.
It's no, I'll call him.
Yep.
I'll ask him a question.
And
whatever
if you're only talking to the wife in this situation or the girlfriend, then it's okay to say, are there other decision makers in this equation?
Right.
Oh, yes, my boyfriend, or yes, my fiance, or yes, my daughter, whatever it is. Can I get their number 2? I want to make sure they're included in everything we're doing here, because there's a lot of cool stuff I'm going to be sending you. I want to make sure they see it too. They're going to give it to you. They will. And maybe if they don't right away, they will after you've earned the trust.
Right.
And then it's like, hey, I'd like to send some stuff directly to Barbara. Can I get her number real quick? It's going to be an easy yes. You're still going to have to earn a little bit past this. It's just that initial, framework. That's what this whole thing is.
It is.
Getting them to really see that you're different and including stuff like the unique cool thing about you. So it might be an exercise, but figure out what that is. I mean, Luke, you have a lot of cool things about you. So you're going to have to kind of like figure out that one that really is super different than the average agent. And it can't just be that I'm super nice and have a good personality, because there's a lot of agents that have really good personality and super nice, right?
Yeah.
It has to be something that other agents don't have. It has to be different. If you're listening to this right now and you're wondering if you have anything cool about you, then ask around, because I'm sure there's people around you that go, you know what's cool about you? And but
send out a questionnaire.
Another questionnaire, exactly. So that's really all I want to talk about. To recap that whole formula, it's start off with stacking the cool.
Yeah.
Use the law of contrast. Immediately back it up with social proof.
Yeah.
Some form of social proof, and then get them to agree by asking, which agent would you rather work with? Get them to say yes a bunch of times, and then simply ask them, are you ready to start working together? And remind them that you would really like to be the one to help them find their way home.
Yep.
That's a great. It's a good, kind of a heart wrenching.
It is. It really is.
Wow, he said he wants to help me find my way home. Almost like I'm lost.
I was going to say, it's like you're a lost dog. And
you are, actually, because in this market, if you're looking for a house and you're just trying to go from listing agent to listing agent, or you're just using a bunch of different agents to get info, you are lost.
You are lost.
But if you connect with a really good agent that really has tools, then they will help you find your way home.
They will.
Because you're lost.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Anyway, you have anything you want to close it off with or expound on?
I just, standing out is very important. And people don't want to work with a stiff in a suit.
No.
They really don't. When it's this big of a purchase, I talk with my wife about this all the time. It's the biggest purchase most people are ever going to make.
Yeah.
And they want to feel good about it, and they want to feel secure.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't make them feel secure, they're not going to go with you.
That's right.
They're not. If there's no connection, they're not going to want to use you. So becoming not only just friendly, because everyone can be friendly, but really connecting, really building a rapport with whoever you're working with is super important.
Yeah.
Because at the end of it, when everything's said and done, signed, sealed, delivered, you hand them keys, you should have made a friend.
Yeah, I think
That's
so too.
how I kind of see it. It's yes, we are salesmen, but you really, I think through the process, you should have made a friend.
Right.
And yeah, so that's all I wanted to say.
Cool. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. If you have any questions or want some slides to everything we just talked about, reach out to us. We're easy to get a hold of.
We are easy to get a hold of.
We will catch
Hey,
you on
wait,
the next
before
one.
you go,
Got it.
would you do us a favor? If you found any value in this content, would you please like and subscribe to it? Maybe even leave a comment. It really helps us out.